mean, I see it as, well, we have to touch on the finance of the event because you have to make the adjustments to the schedule. So you're looking at possibly overtime, you're looking at more manpower added. So is it something that, I mean, should it have come to the council?
That, and I'll focus on the word should. In my opinion, yes. In my opinion, yes. Actually, the warrant roundup could have been done simply at the department level. That is, if chief wanted to do it, he could have done it on his own citywide, but that would have taken the cooperation of the chief of police, the municipal judge, and the city manager. But it could have all been done without council approval. But, you know, it was one of those things that sure, should the council have known? I think yes, because it has implications, especially a warrant roundup that is, that involves a joint operation that is county and city, because it occurs routinely where a chief of police could decide, I'm gonna do a warrant roundup based on warrants that have been issued by our municipal judge that are internal to municipal court PD. And I would, if I were chief, just let city manager know this is what we're anticipating. It's gonna take some coordination. Are you okay with this? Because I wanna make sure that if anybody else has a problem with that, if I'm chief, I want city manager's blessing. If I'm city manager, I would be thinking the same thing. But in this case, it just depends on who is running point on it.
Part of what we look at, Councilmember, to that end, when we're talking about overtime budgets, and quite frankly, the chief, he's had overruns on, because it's been short-staffed now. This year, we shouldn't have that issue. I mean, I'm not suggesting he's not gonna have overtime, I'm just saying that that number, in my opinion, should decrease unless he's, you know, in the department. So unless there's some reason like this, or some other reason that we need to have additional officers, I think there's another event where we may have additional officers. Those are the things that I consider when we're looking at overtime and you know, whether we, you know, what adjustments we need to make sure we stay within the budget. Yes.
Question.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, chief, now that you're fully staffed, we should be seeing more routinely warrant roundups, right? Because I personally think even though the sheriff's department won't take them in all the time, it shows that we're doing something as a city, and it still inconvenience the criminal that he's knocked off of his schedule because of what he's not taking care of.
I don't wanna go too deep into it.
Yeah, I think on that end, we could, part of what I'll speak to this and get some input from the chief as we talk about it, later. Part of what we need to consider, council members, is what we consider to be the priority, meaning if we consider to be class C misdemeanors a priority, or we're considering felonies, folks that are, now, I'm not saying that we're arresting felonies every day, that's not what I'm suggesting. But I am saying that there are things that we need to consider as far as manpower and what they spend their hours on. I can't tell you, you know, that they you know, I can't tell you what they do throughout the day, the entire day, but I do expect more traffic stops. I do expect more from me. I'm not.
Drug raids?
Things that you need to see, right? Now, whether we wanna do another warrant roundup, maybe we should say, maybe we can do something in 5 or 6 months, permitting that the jail has a space. To the mayor's point, it does take coordination. It does take, you know, on our end, we don't wanna go and cause an issue if there's not space at the jail, then it's almost like we're banging our head against the wall and saying, okay, we're there, and we're doing a warrant roundup, but the jail's not accepting, and that's similar to what, so that's part of what I wanna make sure of is that we try to keep some focus on what the priorities are, regarding, you know, crime. And what I hear a lot of is, and this is just me, is drug-related offenses, theft. Those are things, and property crimes, things that are people that are going and damaging stuff. That those are the calls that I don't know if I can speak for the entire council, but those are the ones that I get that are really concerning. Not that others are not. The assaults, of course, are concerning, but those are the calls that I get.
I have a question on that. What I don't want is that the officers to be working more than what they're supposed to, because we don't want them to get, you know, of course, tired and not enough sleep, not enough rest, and then because of all this, you know, warrant roundup and something happens, you know, you have an accident or something, or, you know, never know.
Well, you know, the role that I played in it again is,
Wait, are we talking about too much Warren Roundup on a subject item that's not about Warren Roundup?
Well, the warrant roundup is part, you have an,
Part of an update.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's basically what you guys been doing through meetings.
I'm just saying, we're spending a lot of time on this Warren
If I could
Roundup.
just add something here real
I'm
quick.
glad you said about it.
If I could just add something real quick.
go ahead, Chief.
For us, every day is a warrant roundup. We don't, with all due respect, sir, we don't rely on this one date
Yeah.
to get these criminals. The only difference between Friday and all the time is that Friday they're giving us that available space, and we know they're giving us that
So
available.
it's a good thing then.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's all we
Because,
know.
and the reason I say that is because all the other times when we run into somebody with a warrant, what the officers do, they check, hey, are y'all gonna accept or not? Cause if not, why am I gonna go and possibly go hands-on with this person and have to fight him or get hurt or hurt them when they won't even accept it?
But this case on Friday is a good thing.
Yes, so they're gonna accept, so that's why we're gonna
Awesome.
hammer it.
Thank you.
So just real quickly, perhaps in closing, if you got more questions, the role that I played in this was just a collaborator between the two. And I went to city manager, the chief, at that time, the sheriff, and then the chief deputy, say, can we do this? And in order to do this, the key component of all is room in the jail. And so it's all focused on, and we'll make provisions for that, so.
Will we have a report of the denials when this starts?
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't have a copy for
No,
everybody.
I'm
but it's
talking
just-
Friday, yeah, I'm talking about
Just
the
maybe a
warrant
general,
roundup starts.
we can give you a general report of everything, how about that?
We-
Yeah.
We will, but Councilwoman, I don't anticipate any denials, because
Yeah.
before we get to that level, we'll call it off. When we hit that capacity, and they're gonna tell us, we have capacity for X. And so this will be a holding area, and if it looks like there's 7 or 8 people that looks like they're gonna go to jail, then, and it's 2 in the afternoon, we're done. You know, and the jail will drive that, so I don't anticipate there being any denials for that, and that's what we're gonna hammer out, so anyway, thank you all again, my apologies, I'll bring it to the forefront, more these things that, you know, I really have passion about, but anyway, thank you for understanding. You got any more
Good job.
questions for the chief? And just remember, the 16th of October, we have coffee with the PD, so,
When?
16th of October, excuse me. All right, anything else?
Thanks for the.
All right, chief, thank you. Next up is, Public Works, Hector.
Hector, thank you for your report.
I'll be glad. I'm gonna keep this brief as I can. Good evening, Councilman Mayor. And, not much to report on our end, other than the fact that calls are getting fewer and fewer as the weather changes, which is normal. The only thing I got to add to this is we were able to complete our hydrant flushing, mass hydrant flushing. We got another one scheduled for the end of this year, which is our quarterly, which is minor compared to the one we did these last few days. Other than that, do you have any questions? I got nothing.
Thank you, Hector.
Hector, we're grateful to you. Next up, financial report from Christine Green. Christine, I believe you're on Zoom.
Yes, sir, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I want to thank you for allowing me to attend the meeting via Zoom. I apologize, I don't know what's going on with the camera, but I can't get it to work, so I figured at least you can hear me if you can't see me. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. As of August 31st, 2024, the city completed 91% of the fiscal year. You should have the unaudited revenue and expenditure summaries for the general fund and the utility fund. General fund expenditures exceeded revenues by approximately $192,000. Ad valorem revenue year-to-date was $1.3 million approximately, and 85% of the budget. Sales tax revenue year-to-date was $2.7 million, and that's 97% of the budget. Your utility fund revenues exceeded expenditures in the amount of $90,000. Water revenues year-to-date was 1.8, or 86% of your budget. Sewer year-to-date revenue was $805,000, or 97% of the budget. The expenditures for both of those funds are really in line with what council had approved for the 2024 budget. And again, the pool cash account balance or as of August 2024 was $6,145,645. And I stand for questions.
Council, we didn't make any introductions, she's not here, but Christine has been working with us on a part-time basis. She has years of experience in municipal government. She's been really helpful the past few months, really, been able to do a lot of things. And so with that, I'm thankful that she's here. Any questions you have, I'm sure she can answer as it relates to finance.
Thank you.
I'm grateful, Christine. Any other questions, council, for finance? All right, with that, we're moving on. Thank you, Christine. Moving on to community development, Assistant City Manager, Yolanda.
I'm gonna be really brief and just cover the library. Basically, what I want to point out here is that our monthly statistics continue to increase as far as the patrons that we're serving. And not only are we serving them walking in to use the library computers, but we also provide rooms for the job applicants that come in and other transactions that are occurring, whether there's coffees or things like that. The revenue was $429.85. And we continue to work with the senior citizens at the community center. We were there this past Monday, and from the first time that we saw it, it has grown exponentially. They are so excited to be there, and of course, Mr. Reyes had an earful of all of what their needs are, so we'll be coming
If
to
you
you.
guys get
Yeah.
a time on every Monday at 10 o'clock, they have just coffee, and if you get some time, there's probably 25 to 30 people at the meeting. And it's really, I mean, it's good. I think it's good for the seniors, and they do share a lot of information, but they give compliments and criticisms, but that's just part of the game.
Yeah.
So 10 o'clock in the morning on Mondays, and the group's getting bigger. So in case a judge was there, the county judge was there to give a presentation, and they had a little food for them, but it was really good discussion.
Got a lot of good senior citizens, very smart, outspoken, and they're ready to see some things happening. So we're excited, and Miss Sarah is working very closely with them, and we also have a volunteer, Miss Christina Pelfrey, who has been a volunteer and has kind of taken the lead in doing activities for them. We bring in speakers. Next Monday, Chief will be there, and I believe someone from the Alamo Area Council of Governments, Sarah?
Next Monday, it's South Texas Real Hot.
So, any questions for library? Building inspections, basically our numbers went up. We've been averaging around 13,000 in revenue. This past month of September was 22,474. We issued 36 building permits. The majority was in, of course, commercial buildings at 9,000. Commercial miscellaneous 6, and then residential remodelings was 5,004. Any questions there?
Thank you.
Community development, we are rocking and rolling, guys. Refuel has already pulled their permits. You should be seeing them out there doing site clearance.
Sure.
Yes, I'm sure they called today inquiring about their water services or wanting to get water services out there. Lindsay Lane continues with their project. Dr. Garza's clinic has been issued their permit. If you haven't gotten a tour of the building, please go. I know Mr. Reyes has gone, and it's really, really nice.
Ms. Moran, I have a question. Is Dr. Garza gonna have a ribbon cutting or anything for us?
He did say that he wants to have a ribbon cutting, we're still waiting to hear from him.
Okay.
I will follow up again, just, I think they wanted to just make sure everything was working good, and he wanted to get his practice open as soon as possible, so that's what he was focused on.
Once the wheat field clears the land, we'll have a shovel turn, the wheat field.
Yes. They will also, Tractor Supply, we're still waiting on some revised plans from them. They sent in a set of plans, it was reviewed by BB&A, but there were some revisions that they need to make, we're still waiting on that. And then we've had some inquiries with housing developers, we were scheduled to have a meeting with a potential housing developer today, but he had to reschedule, yeah. So, Mr. Reyes will have more information on some of that. Any questions on community development? Code enforcement, and then we'll finish up with, parks. Code enforcement, we have completed 7 of the 8, weedy lot cleanups under the Operation Clean Cut program. The last one is the 721 West Brazos. That one, it has been a little challenging for us because this is the house that burned down. I don't know if y'all recall that picture where the trash was like almost to the top of the house. And that trash has biohazardous material, which we have to look at a different way of how we approach that, not only from a safety standpoint for our workers, but also what can be taken to the landfill. So we are exploring ways on how we're gonna clean that particular property up. Let's see, we issued for September, we had 37 cases, an increase from 29 in August, and we have 17 open of those.
You wanna mention the demolition.
Oh, yes, I know that, I don't know if y'all noticed, but they have already started the demolition of the Union Pacific Railroad buildings. Those have been ongoing. It was a little challenging because we did meet with we had a pre-construction meeting with the contractor, and one of their concerns is that they've been getting a lot of the public going out there and inquiring about the metal. So they asked for us to do some kind of traffic control because they're concerned about the safety, of course, of their workers and, of course, the public. So we're chief and his officers, we appreciate that they're out there on alert during the day and night, checking for that. What else? Did I miss anything?
There'll be another code enforcement issue, we're gonna have to discuss it, but this, once we actually close it, I can look,
Parks were, right. Oh, there you go.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Evening, Council.
Evening.
We had a busy month in September. Total, I think we had 3 tournaments out there for the month of September. We're still continuing with our basic routine, was the inspection of all the playground equipment and so on and so forth. I'm still trying to get my crew licensed for the pesticide for the right-of-way crew. We also are overseeing the city quadrants that are kept in city standards. We're working hard on that Operation Clean Cut. Facilities are being monitored every week. We're being sprayed for disinfect for the COVID. Also, we are still communicating with the Pearsall Independent School District for their use of the upcoming season for the soccer field. We've got this next month coming up, we have tournaments coming in from the organization or the association UAAS will be coming in for renting out the complex for their tournaments. Got them scheduled all the way up till the second week, I think, is in December. So the complex will be really being used throughout this next couple of months. We went ahead and helped out on that to prepare for that grand opening at the Pizza Hut. Anything else, Council? That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, with that, going on to our municipal judge. Judge?
Good evening. Any questions?
How you going?
Let's get down to the meat and potatoes about it, right? Our total intake for the OCA report for last month was 16,631.80, with the city keeping 1064.65. If you look at it, it's on the